5-star and the #1 player in the state of Oklahoma, Gentry Williams, has released his top 6, and we have got to talk about it. But before we do, as always, y'all know the drill. I want to hear from y'all. So be sure to hop down to the comments. And with Gentry Williams being the #1 player in the state of Oklahoma, do you believe that the Sooners are able to keep him in state? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no, and let me know why. If you're new to the channel, be sure to be able to subscribe and hit the bell notification because I do constant college football content, player reviews, film analysis, talk style videos like this, and I'm on my push to 5,000 subscribers within my first year of having a YouTube channel, and I'd love to have you along for the journey. If you enjoyed the content, be sure to like and comment down below because that really does go a long ways in helping content creators like myself get picked up by the YouTube algorithm. But with all that being said, let's talk Gentry Williams. And let's just hop straight into his top 6. And in the top 6, we have OU, LSU, USC, Arkansas, Florida, and Missouri. And unlike most other recruits' top 6 that we get in no particular order, there is a little bit of a pecking order within Gentry Williams' top 6. And out in front in this battle, we have OU, USC, and LSU. In fourth, right behind those three, would be Arkansas, according to Gentry Williams, and then he views Florida and Missouri as good options. Now, it is safe to say that all 6 schools here do have a good shot at landing Gentry Williams. But I really did find it interesting that he did go ahead and put on Front Street that there were 3 programs that were kind of ahead of everybody else, Arkansas right behind them, and that Florida and Missouri he still really likes, but they're behind those other programs. That's a little bit interesting, but you already know if they're there, they have a shot at landing him. He respects them enough and he has a good enough relationship with them to be able to have them in this stage, and that's really interesting to me because usually we don't see that. But really, let's dissect what's going on here. And I want to take it and really focus on the top 3 teams because it is most likely that he ends up at one of those 3. To be honest, even if he hadn't have said these are the 3 teams that are out in front, these probably would have been the 3 teams that I pegged for him. And that is OU, USC, and LSU. And what do I know? Of course, it's just that I believe that he fits these systems in particular, and especially when you look at where he's going and what he offers, I just think he's an incredibly exciting prospect for all schools involved. But for OU, LSU, and USC, I absolutely see why they're coming at him so hard. And let's start with LSU. Let's break down who LSU is sending at Gentry Williams. And once again from LSU, we have Corey Raymond. And Corey Raymond, for those of you that saw my video the other day talking about him, he is one of the most respected and feared DB recruiters in all of college football. If Corey Raymond is coming after a player that your team is after, know that it's serious and that you have a serious shot of not getting that guy. And when you listen to Gentry Williams talk, you understand why. He's completely cognizant of what Corey Raymond brings to the table. He knows Corey Raymond's history, and he likes the options LSU gives him, both at defensive back and in their track program. And understand that Corey Raymond is a guy that does this. He goes out and gets 5 stars. If we are just talking about the 5-star DBs Corey Raymond has got, no other position, just 5-star defensive backs. The list is Derek Stingley, Elias Ricks, Kevin Tolver, Jacoby Stevens, Christian Fulton, Sage Ryan, and Jamal Adams. Those are just the 5 stars. I'm not even talking about the Greedy Williams, the blue chip 4 stars, and all the other plethora of guys that he has recruited, and they have turned out to be great players. When Corey Raymond is after your guy, it's serious and you need to treat it with the utmost respect because he is a hell of a recruiter and a hell of a coach, that's for sure. OU has the advantage of being the hometown school for Gentry Williams. He grew up a fan of OU, and I completely understand why, and he is so electric that he has to be intrigued. Now, here is the interesting thing. The last time a prediction was made for 24/7 Sports was just under a month ago, and they're all crystal balling for Oklahoma with a lot of insiders for Oklahoma that I really like and I really trust, guys like Colin Kennedy that usually get this stuff right. And the thing that I found the most interesting about what Gentry Williams said about Oklahoma is that while he's really high on them, he said that he was particularly interested to see the evolution of what Alex Grinch was able to continue doing in progressing the defense because he said the defense is really coming along. What that kind of tells me is obviously he's very high on Oklahoma, and Oklahoma wouldn't be in this top 3 amongst the top 6 if that wasn't the case, but he is really peaked at what Alex Grinch is going to be able to do. Now, this could be great or not great. Personally, I believe Alex Grinch will be able to continue the development of the defense for Oklahoma, and if that happens, you have to love where you're at for Gentry Williams' recruitment battle, because that's what really stood out to me, and I think that's what he's really looking at, to see how real is this OU defense in the transition to what Alex Grinch wants them to do. If he thinks it's real, and I believe that it is real, I have every reason to believe that, because they got a lot better over the course of the year last year. And I've always said in my videos, if you're not in contention for the national championship, the only thing you can do is try and get better week after week. And that's exactly what OU did. And that's why I have so much respect for what their season was, how it ended, and where they stand coming into this season. But nonetheless, as much as I think that OU is in a prime position, and I wouldn't waver from the crystal ball at all, because I think that Grinch's evolution is real and it will continue, and you have to like that, especially that he grew up liking them. He did say that he was closer to one specific coach for a different program, and that's USC. And I'm not saying USC is the #1 program here. I'm just saying it's interesting to watch that he specifically named that he was closest to Coach Gentry Williams in this whole process, and he specifically said that he and Damani Jackson, USC's just trademark guy in this next class, let's be honest, they're bread and butter for this next class, #1 cornerback in the nation. He said those two guys are very close. And so it's going to be interesting to watch the battle that occurs for these top 3 programs. Because like I said, if it was me inserting a prediction right now, which is far too early and it's always subject to change at the drop of a hat, but that's what makes recruiting so fun, is that things change on the fly. I think that the top 3 absolutely make sense, and I still think OU is ahead in this process because of the evolution of the defense under Grinch, because it's Lincoln Riley's system and it's so exciting, and because he's from Oklahoma and he looks up to that team. But knowing that Corey Raymond is after him and the history of what Corey Raymond does, and then knowing that he just said up front that his best relationship and the relationship he's most comfortable with in this entire process is a USC coach, and looking at the recruiting process and seeing how hot USC is on the recruiting trail right now, my lord. Last year securing the #1 player in the nation and then signing Rayshawn Davis on signing day and then getting Damani Jackson in this class, really, really doing some positive work in the transfer portal as well, but you don't have to tell OU about doing positive work in the transfer portal. I don't know that you can name a team that has done better in that regard than the Sooners this offseason. All that being said, the top 3 teams absolutely make sense. Arkansas, Florida, Missouri, all teams that are very much well still in this, but it is absolutely LSU, USC, and OU's race at this point. But I can't wait to hear what y'all are thinking, so be sure to hop down to the comments and let me know. Subscribe to the channel and like the video. That's it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.